The great hall is quiet. You stand in the center of the room. A few moments ago, in a moment of carelessness or anger or sheer exhaustion, you dropped a torch. The flame caught the edge of a tapestry. The fabric is now burning. The smoke is beginning to fill the air. Your kin, your allies, the people who trust you to protect the keep, are standing around you. They are pointing at the fire. They are coughing in the smoke. They are looking at you, waiting for the commander to act. By all laws of logic, you should immediately call for water. You should stamp out the flames. You should turn to your kin and say, "I dropped the torch. I made a mistake. Help me extinguish it." But you do not call for water. Instead, the tremor strikes your chest. The ego violently seizes control of your mind. You look at the burning tapestry and you look at your kin, and you utter a terrifying, deliberate lie. You say, "There is no fire." When they point to the flames, you raise your voice. You tell them they are imagining the smoke. You tell them that if the tapestry is burning, it is because they placed it too close to the hearth. You tell them that a true commander never drops a torch. You stand in the middle of your own burning hall, choking on the ashes, fiercely defending your pride while your kingdom turns to ruin. In the clinical world, this devastating psychological trap is known as ego defense, narcissistic injury, and cognitive dissonance. In the language of the keep, it is the anatomy of the unbending iron. We must examine why a brilliant, capable warrior chooses to burn alive rather than admit a simple mistake. It is the tragedy of the Brittle king. The human ego is obsessed with the illusion of infallibility. It believes that its authority, its worth, and its right to lead are entirely dependent on being perfect. When you make a mistake, when you speak a cruel word, when you fail a campaign, when you betray a trust, a massive, terrifying gap opens up in your mind. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. It is the agonizing friction between who you believe you are, a noble, flawless knight, and what you just did, a careless, damaging act. To resolve this friction, a healthy mind accepts the fault. It integrates the mistake. It says, "I am a noble knight who occasionally fails." But a fragile ego cannot do this. To a fragile ego, an admission of fault is not a dent in the armor. It is a total annihilation of identity. In clinical psychology, this is known as a narcissistic injury. The mind believes that if it apologizes, it will be stripped of its rank. It believes that the word sorry is a weapon that the enemy will use to execute you in the courtyard. And so, to protect its life, the ego deploys the heavy, rusted shield of pride. Pride is not confidence. Pride is terror masquerading as strength. It is the desperate, exhausting effort of a man who knows his armor is made of glass, violently attacking anyone who tries to touch it. You become the infallible commander. You rewrite history to suit your narrative. You blame the squires for your own tactical failures. You gaslight your allies, twisting their memories until they doubt their own sanity. You demand absolute loyalty, but you offer absolutely no accountability. Consider the physiological and strategic cost of this endless war. A kingdom ruled by an infallible commander is a kingdom of silent terror. Your allies will stop bringing you vital intelligence. If a scout sees an enemy army approaching, but knows you will punish him for bearing bad news, he will remain silent. If your kin are bleeding from the shrapnel of your stubbornness, they will hide their wounds, because crying out only makes you angry. You win every argument in the Great Hall, but you lose the war. You slowly starve your own spirit. You become isolated on a throne of ashes, surrounded by people who do not respect you, but simply fear your violent refusal to bend. A sword that is forged too hard, a sword that refuses to flex when it strikes a shield, will shatter into 1,000 useless pieces. To survive the long campaign, you must execute a maneuver that violates every instinct of the terrified ego. You must learn the alchemy of the bended knee. Humility is not weakness. Humility is the absolute, terrifying apex of Stoic strength. It takes a coward to drop a torch and blame the wind. It takes a king to look at the fire, look at the frightened faces of his kin, and say, "I burned the hall. The fault is mine. I will carry the water." When you finally speak the words of a true apology, when you stop defending the illusion of your perfection, you expect the realm to execute you. But the opposite occurs. When you admit your humanity, you do not lose your authority. You cement it. Your allies do not look at you with disgust. They look at you with profound, unbreakable relief. They realize that they are led by a man who is grounded in reality, not a tyrant living in a hallucination. The tension in the keep vanishes. The smoke clears. The energy you spent maintaining the exhausting lie of your infallibility is suddenly returned to you. You can breathe again. You can sleep without the armor on. An apology is not a surrender to the enemy. An apology is a surrender to the truth. And the truth is the only foundation strong enough to support a keep. Do not let your pride burn down your life. Look at the smoke in the hall. Look at the people who are choking on your stubbornness. Drop the rusted shield. Take off the heavy, brittle crown. Kneel in the ashes. Ask for the water. Forge the broken iron back together. The march continues.